hesitation, no doubt.
That's it.
Great.
Got it.
Our word for Don and Fez.
Prescription is more cowbell. I could have used a little more cowbell. I gotta have more cowbell. You should probably give him more cowbell.
Buddies!
Oh, buddies, it's the Ron and Fez show.
Good evening, buddy.
I'm Ron, there's Fez.
Hi, everyone.
And we are 24 hours away from doing our live show tomorrow night, Fez.
That's right. We're going to be at Dave & Buster's, 7 o'clock tomorrow. It all starts. White Flint Mall in Bethesda. I am looking so forward to Don the Hypnotist and his show from HypnoticTouch.com. Ronnie, I'm going to be in rare form. I can feel it coming now.
If you've never seen a hypnotist show, it can be the funniest thing you've ever seen in your life. And Fez, you're fairly sure you're going to go under his trance.
I feel like I'm under already. I feel the suggestion hitting me already. To me, it's like getting drunk. You just lose some inhibitions.
So for you, it's like every other day of your life, just constantly getting drunk. It's a free show tomorrow night. Dave & Buster's. Make sure you come out and see us. As a matter of fact, we got some of those power cards to give away. We'll do that now if you call us at 866-277-4969, 866-277-4969. With the power cards that they have in Dave & Buster's, you can play some of the games for free.
You play all the games there on the $1 Million Midway. I use all mine up on Skee Ball.
No, Skee Ball takes a power card. Have we decided to do that? What do you do when you're done playing Skee Ball, Grandpa? Go over and work that big music box of yours?
I take my tickets and cash them in, thank you.
Even your entertainment is yesteryear. Everything is Teddy Roosevelt, turn of the century. All right, so for the next 5 minutes, we'll take this off air. 866-277-4969. We're giving away power cards for Dave & Buster's tomorrow night. Great time to come out to see the Hypnotist show with us. It's a great date because it's cheap. Normally, you'd go to a comedy club and spend $30 a head for this. It's a fun show, and Don is a phenomenal hypnotist.
Yeah, I love working with that guy. I love watching the people get hypnotized, and I love being under, too.
So, musically, we're going with a whole different thing. We've got Jag playing his Indian music. He'll be playing that, of course, as he's mixing. And then we have Bobo coming in with the sitar to do Smells Like Teen Spirit with one of our interns, Chapin.
All right, I wonder if that's going to be the highlight or when Crazy Jen can't get out of the damn straitjacket all night.
Crazy Jen will get out of it. She's now found herself. Her and her street team have been working on this. She's an escape artist, Fez, much like her idol, David Blaine. She gets out of the straitjacket. The place goes crazy. And then, we just have a great time from there. I don't know what the Guinness Book of World Records, whether it's seconds or minutes, that's what she's going for.
Yeah, if she's such an escape artist, why is she constantly in here? Why won't she escape from this building?
All right, so we've got an escape artist, a hypnotist, a sitar, and you playing Skee Ball. I wonder if we're in the Wayback Machine here. This is a show that easily you could have seen in 1902.
And I'll be selling my elixir afterwards. It makes you feel good. What ails you?
Say, fellas, do you find yourself tired? Do you find yourself feeling down about yourself?
Colonel Watley's elixir. Step right up, ladies and gents.
Spin and win. Whatever it stops on's what you get, Bear Dog, every time. Yeah, Barnum and Bailey are coming out tomorrow night, folks. You'll want to see us. Call for those power cards now, 866-277-4969.
A new book out about Joe Namath says that he was on President Nixon's enemies list and followed by the FBI because of his long hair and his fondness for a cocktail.
Yeah, pretty much back in those days, 69, there was your rebel, Joe Namath, the all-American boy out of Pennsylvania, let the hair go over his ears. So Nixon immediately, here's a guy who never made one political move in his life. All he did was like women, drinking, and football, much like every other American. But the FBI started following around Broadway Joe.
Nixon could not stand anyone being popular.
Yeah.
He took it as a personal slight against him. The Kennedys drove him to that point. They drove him insane because if America loves someone else, they must hate Nixon.
Yeah. I would just like to point this out. You have the White House. You're running the country. You don't need to bother Joe Namath or for today's president. Have any of your people call Alan and start worrying about me and Fez being fair. We're not going to be fair with our show.
Oh, we're going to find out years from now that Ashton Kutcher was followed.
Yeah,
because
I know.
Of his long hair.
Yeah, and also because supposedly he did bong hits with the twins. Did you ever see that article? I think it was in Rolling Stone, where he alluded to doing bong hits with the twins.
You know, and none of that ever came up again.
No.
He threw it out there, and it just kind of laid and went away.
Yeah, you saw Matt Drudge wasn't interested in following that story. But my personal thing is this. You get high with somebody, you got to keep it quiet. I don't care if it's good publicity later. I don't like anybody who does the kiss and tell.
And I'm sure J. Edgar over at the FBI had his own reasons for following Joe Namath around.
Sure, it's the only other man in America who was wearing pantyhose at the time. Joe Namath and J. Edgar Hoover were the two that had him on.
Hello, my lovely.
Yeah. Unbelievable. How embarrassing sometimes some of this stuff gets. Luckily, you only hear about it 30 years later.
Yeah, that Elvis was smart. He called the president and said, let's meet.
Yeah, Elvis shows up there and attempted, the Elvis story is great. Elvis attempted to give President Nixon a gun. This is from my own collection. What a maniac.
Colin Powell, he will not be appearing at the GOP convention this month, saying that as Secretary of State, he should not participate.
He said he didn't want to stick out like a black thumb. He doesn't want to go anywhere and be the only black guy in the whole place.
Well, it's awkward. People have trouble with that.
Yeah.
So is he honoring tradition, or is there something more to this?
I think a lot of those guys plan on working till November 3rd, win or lose. He's one of them. I believe the man is exhausted. He's tired. He can't go on like this anymore.
This staff has gotten so worn out. We talked about Condi Rice just saying, I just want to get through the next few weeks.
Yeah, that's...
And not even talking about his second term.
You know how difficult it is to get up every morning and lie? So I need a break today.
Mr. President, I'm all lied out.
My allies understand what we're doing now.
For some reason, the president looks younger, and everyone else is just exhausted.
Oh, do you think he does?
No.
Because I was looking at some pictures of him compared with, and this thing's been a little rougher on him than I gave him credit for.
Yeah, if you see some of that early stuff, that early footage from the campaign in 2000, it does look like his school picture now.
Yeah, it does.
It looks like his Yale picture, like he should be in a male cheerleader suit.
Yeah, and you know, those guys, they take plenty of vacations. I don't see how they're overworked, and yet they all look terrible after each term. And it may be they just find out the truth. Maybe we're holding on with such a small, thin thread here. Is the last thing you want to know, you and Will Smith, to find out the absolute truth, like it was Men in Black.
The Pentagon says that Halliburton has failed to account for $1.8 billion worth of work they billed the government for in Iraq and Kuwait.
So they send them something for $1.8 billion and then don't have anything itemized at all.
Exactly. There's no sort of, what is this $1.8 billion for? Let me see. I think some of the sandwiches had cheese on them. Cheese is really a lot extra in Iraq. They have no idea. They can't account for $1.8 billion worth of bills.
Well, Fez, I think we should just pay them and get it over with, because we don't want to end up in small claims court saying that they didn't do their job if they did.
This is like Victoria Gotti's pool man. I see what's going on here.
That was the most uncomfortable thing I've ever seen in my life, that Victoria Gotti show. I don't see why you like that show, Fez.
Oh, it's the Hottie Gottis. I think the kids make the whole show. The boys make it.
Yeah, well, they're 15 and you're not. And I don't feel like you should be too interested in them.
Carmine, Frankie, and Johnny, and they are America's next heartthrobs. I always like a show where people are speaking English, except they still need subtitles on it.
All right, you say they're America's Next Heartthrob. That's your...
Radio psychic.
Radio psychic. Mine is...
Radio psychic.
They all get busted for some kind of date rape and forcing himself on somebody. Did you see the kid who got the tattoo the other day, the middle kid?
Oh, right, yeah.
Covers up half of his back. And again, it's a cross, and I think his grandfather's on it. I couldn't see it too good, but it had something to do with John Gotti. I'm just glad that he's dead before he could see what happened to his family.
Now, Victoria keeps saying she wishes her father was alive to handle these boys. Mike Wallace from 60 Minutes was handcuffed and taken to a police station after he allegedly lunged at a city inspector during a parking dispute. Now, Mike Wallace, just a roughed-up old man or menace to society?
He's 86 years old. Who could he hurt? They went and put the cuffs on him, which, from what I understand, he loved. What's next? Are you going to take the nightstick to Andy Rooney? Where the hell does this whole deal go? Here's what they were mad at. I guess he's being taken around town by a driver. While he's running in, the driver is kind of double parked but waiting in the car. In New York. This happens every block you go in New York. There's nothing new about it. Why does anybody have to rough up this old guy and throw him in the back of a cop car?
I didn't know that the meter maids could actually take you in at that point. Well, so these weren't even cops. They were like parking people.
Yeah, but they're like parking, but they're in charge of just keeping an eye on taxis and limos. So I don't think that they're like little meter maids riding around in those carts. They're a rougher crew there. But for whatever reason, Fez, they don't know who Mike Wallace is. Then they got to slap him around. There was a witness there going, the guy didn't do a damn thing, but say, what the hell's going on here?
Today, here, they were interviewing him. He goes, I supposedly lunged at somebody. He goes, I'm 86 years old. I can't lunge into bed.
I'd go down there with some of the 60 Minutes guys and kick a little ass. Maybe look into some of these people's backgrounds.
Where's that Steve Croft? He should be helping some of the older guys.
Steve Croft is only about 4'10", so he's going to... Whatever happens is going to happen when Steve Croft is around.
I bet that Leslie Stahl is a Spitfire if someone starts pushing Mike Wallace around.
All right, let's play the best of Bush-isms that we've been collecting lately.
And so, in my State of the Union, or my speech to the nation, whatever you want to call it, I asked Americans to give 4,000 hours over the rest of your life. That's what I asked. I said, 4,000 hours. Signed today directs new funds and new focus to the task of collecting vital intelligence on terrorist threats and on weapons of mass production. Nobody can threaten this country. Oh, they may be able to bomb a building. You said we're headed to war in Iraq. I don't know why you say that. We cannot let terrorists and rogue nations hold this nation hostile or hold our allies hostile. Africa's a nation that suffers from incredible disease. In 1994, there were 67 schools in Texas that were rated exemplary according to our own tests.
He's exemplary.
How can he lose, ladies and gentlemen? There he is, our president. Our president.
I don't want to be held hostile. I got to agree with him there.
Yeah.
I want to be held gently. I want to be held comfortably.
I want to be held by George W. That's how I want to be held.
I just don't want to be held hostile by terrorists.
That would be scary. They're just yelling at you the whole time.
Well, it's rude. I don't know. Maybe they have their own problems, but don't take it out on me.
Yeah.
Don't be so hostile.
You're just a regular guy like anybody else.
Scott Peterson's mistress, Amber Fry, took the stand yesterday, saying that Scott seduced her with slow dancing, a karaoke serenade, and champagne, plus gifts and flowers later on.
Now, I know that she's a plain girl, but is it just the fact that she's in court that makes her look so hot to me? Or the fact that she's so nutty, she kept 200 tapes of phone conversations. He couldn't have picked a worse woman to have an affair with.
Unless it might have been Linda Tripp.
My favorite story that she came up with so far, and apparently she has this all on tape, is, all right, Lacey is missing. Scott has already been on TV. We're trying to find her. He calls this girl, his girlfriend, New Year's Eve, let her know, I'm in Paris right now. And I'm thinking of you. She sees him on TV, crying and looking for his wife. like hours before, so he makes up a lie that he's in Paris as a bachelor missing her.
He actually had it forwarded from a number from Europe, so it looked like an out-of-country number.
Yeah, he actually did that. Set up a French phone number to be able to pull this off. Just thinking he is James frickin' Bond out there.
He's acting like he's the Pepe Le Pew of the new millennium. And his sister was on going, hey, we didn't say he was a dog. He's a dog. We know that. All we're saying is he didn't kill his wife.
And every time a holiday came up, because he told Amber Fry, he wanted to marry her and raise her kid. And every time a holiday came up, there was some exotic location where he had to be. Thanksgiving, we're going to Kennebunkport.
Yeah.
So he just saw the Bushes say that.
Yeah, who goes to Kennebunkport? There's only about 8 houses there, and 2 of them belong to the Bush family.
And then there was like some sort of fishing trip to Alaska that was thrown in.
With Joe Glass, my friend.
All you did was see a glass sitting there. And you said that was your friend's name.
I'm sorry, these French phones are so bad. I can't hear you, my love, my darling.
And she's on the stand saying, the very first night I went out with him, he had champagne and big strawberries waiting in the hotel room.
Who doesn't pull that post-college stunt? Anyone who's 23 knows to go for the dumb champagne and strawberry gimmick.
Because nothing says class like strawberries, my friend. Freshly picked sour strawberry.
It works on every chick. No one knows why. There's 2 things that work. The dumb champagne and strawberries and, oh, I'm fixing a meal for you, my love. Like that's ever going to happen more than once. That's the pre-tap move. Every guy knows it. Every guy makes it happen.
One of the other things he had tried during that relationship was I lost my wife recently.
And I mean this afternoon, so it's been hard.
Recently, as in this coming Christmas? That soon?
Yeah, apparently she was in an oil drum or something. How are you, my darling? More champagne and strawberries.
Oh, Scott Peterson!
You see the picture of Lacey, and I don't know what, maybe it's because she's passed away now. But she looks so sweet and so nice. And then Scott and the girl he was with look like the 2 most sinister, ugly, evil soap opera bitches you've ever seen.
Yeah, they look like they should be in one of the Revenge of the Nerds movies, as the bad fraternity and sorority people. And according to the defense lawyers, this Lacey Peterson, the sweet Lacey, had every enemy in the world. There were voodoo gangs looking for her, Asian gangsters. And, of course, the mistress.
Well, they weren't saying that any of these people did it on purpose. They were saying she just fell victim to them, right? They were acting like this was...
Oh, one was the crackhead.
Yeah, but they're not saying that she was tied in with any of these people. They were acting like she just fell victim to some other kind of insanity.
Yeah, that they picked her up while dog walking.
All right, we're going to take a break here. Tomorrow night, come out and see us do the Ron and Fez show live.
It's going to be a Dave & Buster's. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be a great time. Watch Don the Hypnotist put me and some other people under. It's going to be a great show.
Crazy Jen is going to be out there with us. We got a billiard tournament. Also, we're going to pimp somebody's living room, get their living room ready for football. Let's say in about another half hour, we'll give away more power cards. Right back in a few moments. It's the Ron and Fez show.